We are supercharging the excitement for Euro 2024 with a special giveaway. 3 lucky winners will be celebrating with €100 cash prize each at the final. All you need to do is complete the social tasks on 𝗀𝗵𝗍𝐿. The more you participate, the higher odds of winning. Don't miss out. Click the link in the description and complete all tasks now.
Hello and welcome to Odds On Euro Matchday 1, Groups E and F. Games to be played on Monday and Tuesday. We have, for instance, Belgium, Portugal playing, and we have Bachanian and Alvaro, Romeo. Hello, guys, to analyze with us these 4 games. So you are going to learn a lot about these 8 teams, and hopefully we can make some money in this match day 1 in the Euro. So, of course, stay tuned. Leave us your comments, your tips for these 4 games. And don't forget to press the like and subscribe. And now let's go on with the show. Well, guys, let's analyze these 4 games. On Monday, Group E, we have at 9 p.m. Austria, France. So go and check the other video with Alvaro and 𝗀𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗂. And before that game, we have Romania, Ukraine. For instance, Ukraine could be a good surprise in these Euros. Yeah. They qualified via the playoff, beating Iceland or Bosnia, but they were also very competitive in the group stage or in the qualifiers with Italy, with England. They had some stars in the team like Lunin or Mudryk. I guess we know little about Romania back to a big tournament after playing in a group with Switzerland, Israel, or Kosovo. But in the friendlies, Leo, for instance, they couldn't beat Liechtenstein or Bulgaria. What can we expect about Romania? Because I kind of like the odds to back Ukraine in this game.
Yes, absolutely, Edu. They are favorite Ukrainians here. As you said, Romania had an impressive qualifying campaign. They won 6 and they draw 4 of their 10 games, probably drawing away to Switzerland, winning at home against Switzerland as well, and getting the 3 points on the road against Israel may have been the best results in their qualifier. But the problem is, like, since securing qualification to the finals, the level has dropped. March friendlies, Eduardo weren't good, drawing with Northern Ireland, losing with Colombia 3-2, which could deceive some if you haven't seen the game, because Colombia could have scored 5 or 6 easily on that night. But at the end of the game, Iordanescu's team managed to at least restore some pride and make the scoreline a little bit better for them. But if defeat with Colombia falls within the reasonable result, let's say for Romania, to draw against Liechtenstein, definitely not. Days before, they had another goalless draw, in that case against Bulgaria. Yes, Denis Dragus missed a penalty, the Gaziantep striker. In the first half, Romania showed some good combination football in attack at times, but overall, guys, those 2 games did not provide the rousing performance, I believe, that Iordanescu was expecting before the finals. Anyway, I wouldn't like to read too much on these 2 last friendlies, because the manager Iordanescu mixed up a little bit the lineups in both games. For example, against Bulgaria, he didn't play with Janusz Hagi from the beginning, neither Puskás, neither Coman, who are going to be for sure starters against Ukraine. I think we should expect a more reactive than proactive Romanian against Ukraine, guys. This is a team that has scored 16 times in 10 qualifying matches. So I cannot see a Romanian side going into attack against Ukraine, not at all. For example, the expected goals during the qualifying campaign, they lay 28 in that table in the expected goals. They were 12 in goals per game. So again, I can imagine a Romanian side trying to play in a transition game, trying to hurt the Ukraine on the counter. but definitely here, Ukrainian is favored to take the 3 points and have a good start. I cannot see Romania, to be honest, getting anything out of this fixture.
Well, Ukraine to win is 2.08. Last time we saw Romania in the Euros was in 2016, and back then they weren't good, only 1 point. They even lost against Albania. How do you see this one, Alvaro?
I think Ukraine is the favorite because they've got better stars, and at the end of the day, I think that this is gonna be the decider in the game, really. And Ukraine to win is really good, 205. I'm gonna go for that one. I really love it, and even I could decaf it a little bit with an ace handicap minus 0.25, 170, and I will still be happy with the yield I will get. Because yes, I don't trust Romania so much, and don't get me wrong. I mean, every side has to be respected in this tournament, and only Portugal had more clean sheets in the qualification than Romania. So in that respect, we can say that they are a defensive unit, that they manage to consider themselves happy with their defensive performance throughout the qualification tournament. But on the other hand, the caliber of the rivals, obviously in the qualification, is going to be very different to the caliber of the rivals during the Euro. And I think that has many tools to inflict pain to anybody else. Look, just the quality of the players tells you the story. I mean, probably the player with the best market value for Romania right now would be maybe 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏, a footballer who has established himself in the lineup of Romania. I think that 𝗍𝗏𝗀𝗏 is one of those footballers that has had a very commendable career, but still he's a little bit veteran, too experienced probably. And Ioannis Hagi, a footballer that I was expecting a lot from at Alaves, hasn't really been that good player that Alaves expected. However, you look at the Ukraine's squad, and you see that they've got, for example, the top scorer of La Liga, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, playing for Girona, who, by the way, scored the other day in a friendly. 𝐻𝐿, one of the most exciting wingers that La Liga has. He plays for Girona too. And then you start looking at the names, and some of them are really established players. I'm talking about, for example, Ilya Zabarny, playing for Bournemouth. He has been phenomenal this season, playing all together with 𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. What about 𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, a footballer who can be a midfielder or a left back? And on top of that, I believe that Ukraine is better suited for this kind of football. It's faster than Romania. They've got better stars, and I'm gonna back them really. With Ukraine to win will be 205. I can take it. Otherwise, if you go to the individual market, and since he's scoring and since he is starting for Sergei Rebrov, I will go for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 to score. That pays 2.7.
And actually, yeah, no, because Alvaro, Edu just mentioned both Dragusin and Dobic were picking one from each side, and I think that could be one of the main battles of the game. Dragusin against Dobic, definitely, and also I think the draw with Germany in Nuremberg now in this last friendly for Ukraine, it shows how. I think it shows us how Rebrov team is going to play against Belgium as well, because in Nuremberg he opted for 5 in defense because 𝗍𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and Konoplia, they operated as a wing backs with 3 center backs. But with Romania, I think he's going to restore the 4-2-3-1. Yes, the defeat with Poland was not maybe the best before the finals, but I think the best or the most positive part to take from that defeat against Poland for Ukraine is that Mykolenko, guys, managed to play 45 minutes, and remember he couldn't finish the season with Everton because of a toe injury. And also, I think the game against Germany show how this Ukrainian side, guys, can feel comfortable playing 2 different styles. They could hurt Romanian with the possession-based football they showed us against Iceland or Bosnia and Herzegovina in March. But after 3 minutes against Germany, they show how also can be so they can punish you in the counter. Because I remember after 2 or 3 minutes, Mudryk had a clear chance to score against Germany in the counter. But against Romania, I don't think so they're going to have too much options to run because Romania is not a possession-based football. They won't ask for the ball. So Ukrainian is going to have to take the game by the neck. But yes, Ukraine to win. I like it as Alvaro. Odds of 2.08 is very healthy. But I think at least we're going to see a combative Romanian side in the first half. So first half draw, 2.15 is not bad to me neither. And my last one, I don't know if maybe I'm a little bit adventurous here, but the halftime, full-time market, guys, first half draw, as I was saying, mentioning before, and Ukraine to win the second half takes the odds quite high, 5.5. First half draw and second half win.
Look, that makes kind of sense because Romania, as I said before, has recorded many clean sheets in the qualification. That's number one. Because Ukraine in the qualifications as well has considered the first goal of the game many times. So, for example, Ukraine losing the first half and coming back, something like that, is something that for sure will pay very well and has happened a lot. For example, I think that Ukraine has been in losing positions during the qualification 4 or 5 times, and they managed to get at least a point. So, that's not a bad idea.
Alvaro, actually, your point makes sense because against North Macedonia, they scored 3 times in the second half. Against Malta, the winner came in the second half. Against Bosnia and Iceland in the playoff, all goals came also in the second half.
Good. Then let's go for it. Ukraine, perhaps they don't have a big name in world football, but they were superb in the previous Euros. Remember that they beat Sweden, for instance, in the knockout stages to lose later on with England, and they missed the last World Cup only in the playoff to Wales. So they have a good generation, Ukraine, despite all the political problems, and they could be a danger or finish second in this group because I guess the favorites to top this group is Belgium, a new Belgium. No Bob Martinez now under Domenico Tedesco. The golden generation is gone, and perhaps now it's time for them to reach a final with some of the big players gone. You never know. They are super favorites for this game. Slovakia is one of these teams without big stars, without a big name. And I don't know if they are able, Alvaro, to surprise Belgium in this opening game.
I think that Belgium is the favorite here. I'm going to back them with an ace and handicap -1. It's 171. What is the rationale behind it? Number one, Belgium has a scorer like Romelu Lukaku, who maybe is not a footballer for a Champions League winning side, but on the other hand, when he plays at mid or mid-high levels, he's phenomenal. We have seen that with Roma. We saw that in the qualification. In fact, Romelu Lukaku was the top scorer of the European qualification. And when it comes to these kind of games, for example, Belgium, Slovakia, Belgium against a team of the quality of Slovenia, Romania, and many more, Romelu Lukaku normally delivers. They call him sometimes a flat track bully. I don't agree with that definition, but it's true that he's got a very good record when he plays against lesser sides. So Lukaku to score 191 with Belgium winning will be another combination that pays 286. And just very quickly, with Belgium, what can we say? Part of the golden generation is gone, and some other part is already old. I'm talking about the gone ones, Eden Hazard, and the old ones are 𝐿𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐶𝐿, who is still in this squad, and Jan Vertonghen, to give you a name. But on the other hand, the ones coming up now, they are very good as well. I like Leandro Trossard a lot. He's not a youngster. He's closer to 30 than to 25, but still, this is his time. I'm talking about 𝗀𝗵cie, and especially about 𝐬𝐭𝐴∞. We haven't spoken about Kevin De Bruyne a lot this season because he's been injured, but probably he will be kind of fit for the tournament after not having played so many games for Manchester City this season. He's not drained. So, I trust Belgium to negotiate the group stage. With Domenico Tedesco, the team plays slightly more free and with the foot on the accelerator more than with Roberto Martinez. They play with 4 defenders instead of 3. And, the only setback for them is that Thibaut Courtois is not in the squad, and the goalkeeper is going to be 𝐋𝐞𝐿 from Wolfsburg. Let's see how he does. In my opinion, not bringing in Thibaut Courtois was a mistake, but on the other hand, 𝗵𝗏𝗀 will say, well, this is a reward to the goalkeeper that has been playing for us for the last year. I don't know if that works. Anyway, when it comes to Slovakia, an Italian manager, Francesco Calzona. It's true that 9 players in the Slovakian squad have been playing Champions League football this season, so they are not that bad, but they are missing, obviously, a good start. I think that one of the players that I like the most, and this is a bit weird to say, but apart from Skriniar, is 𝗵𝗏𝗏, the defender from Copenhagen. I think that he was phenomenal against Manchester United and against Bayern in the group stage of the Champions League. And they can be dangerous too. They've got footballers who can shoot from the distance in the qualification as well. So maybe Belgium will have to make sure that they tackle their midfielders when it comes to shoot on the edge of the box. But still, I trust Belgium, and I trust, at least at these early stages of the tournament. So as I said before, Belgium to win and Lukaku to score. You take it individually or you combine it together will be my preferred bet.
Well, I guess Slovakian people hope that Calzona is going to be more successful with the national team than with Napoli. He is a busy man, and he was managing Napoli not with a lot of success in the second part of the season. Slovakia, Leo, we saw them in the last Euros. We Spaniards remember Spain thrashing Slovakia 5-0 for instance. They were not very competitive. Are they better than 4 years ago? Belgium, on the other hand, they are now 8th favorites to win the tournament. We've been saying in the last 10, 12 years that they had the generation to get into a final. They didn't do it. Perhaps now with all this rebuild is their time. Who knows?
Yes, and maybe now that we have to stop talking about the golden generation, maybe they can produce something to those levels, maybe something similar to what happened with England. No, once they had that golden generation, nothing happens, and now when we don't talk about golden generation, who feels could come for England? I mean, going back to Slovakia, Edu, on your first point, I think they will desperately need, guys, a good defensive performance, as they show actually in qualification when they conceded 8 goals in 10 games, but half of them came against Portugal. They have experienced players, 5 or 6 of their players in their squad at over 30 years old. In qualification games, Calzona many times asked one of the midfielders to drop to the defensive line, to make a line of 3 center backs on the build-up, this to allow the fullbacks to push a little bit higher up the pitch, but I cannot see them doing this against Belgium, not at all. I will be surprised if I see them doing that. Actually, against Portugal, they haven't done that, so that's an indication of how they could play against Belgium. But at the end of the day as well, guys, Slovakia is not relying their opportunities or their chances to go to the knockout stage on this game. The battles are with the Romanian and with Ukraine. And with the Belgium, I'm interested in seeing what 𝗵𝗏𝗀𝗀 can bring to the finals. Yes, we have seen that the approach has changed in comparison with Martinez. They are now a little bit more direct team than they were with Roberto Martinez. They are a little bit more clinical than they were with Martinez. At least when I think about Belgium and the Qatar World Cup, I think of a team that wasted a lot of chances, a lot of opportunities. Well, let's see if 𝗵𝗏𝗀𝗀 can change this. And Alvaro was talking about Lukaku, and everything was right. And I don't take anything away from Lukaku, but if it's not now the time for Openda, then when? So, but still, this said, I believe that Lukaku will lead the line for sure in their debut. Yes, there is no high value on Belgium to win after 90 minutes, 1.5. So I will combine maybe Belgium to win with Belgium to score first. It will take the odds to closer to 2, and also Belgium to win first half has odds closer to 2 as well on average on Oddspeda's website.
Well, we saw Belgium losing to Italy in the last Euros. In the World Cup, they left the World Cup against Croatia. after a goalless draw. So still, of course, very competitive with a lot of great football players. It's a pity that we are not going to see 𝐻𝐿𝐴, probably the best goalkeeper in the world, but it's 𝗂𝗵ici𝐿 Tedesco's choice. Let's move to the next group. By the way, I want to remind you that we have a special giveaway for this Euro 24. So 3 lucky winners will get €100 in cash prize at the final. So you just need to complete the social task we have on Glim. The more you participate, the higher the odds of winning. So don't miss out. You have the link and the information in the description. And last group, guys, last day of match day 1 is going to be on Tuesday. We have Turkey, Georgia. Georgia debutants in this tournament. I guess it's going to be a huge party atmosphere in Tiflis to watch this game against Turkey. We saw Turkey losing in the friendlies against Poland, but of course my eyes were on Arda Güler, who changed the game and gave a good game in the second half for Turkey. In their last Euros they participated was in 2016. It's always exciting to see Turkey in a big tournament. For Georgia, we know 𝗵𝗵𝗫𝗀𝗀 or 𝗂𝗵esse, for instance. Turkey super favorites. Leo, 1.8. It's always difficult to trust Turkey, to be honest, because when you don't trust them, they deliver. When you trust them, they disappoint.
Yeah, look, Edu, I know the odds are put Turkey as the clear favorite here. But to be honest, I'm anticipating one of my takes here, which is a draw at full time, also 3.8. And I believe it's not far-fetched to believe that Georgia, in their first participation in the finals in the Euros, could take a point against Turkey. They will face a Turkish side which is arriving in a very poor state. I mean, the win against Germany back in November now is becoming like a distant memory. They are winless in the last 5 matches with 3 defeats. To be honest, I watched 60 minutes of their game, the 0-0 against Italy, and when my wife asked me, believe me, after 60 minutes of the game, like, can you go and pick up our younger daughter? And I was happy to do it, and she thought I was doing her a favor, but inside me, I knew she was doing me a favor because Turkey was being dreadful on that game. Okay, Italy as well, perhaps, but I'm not seeing Turkey as the favorite as the odds are showing us in here. It's true, the Arda Güler is a good news for them, but at the same time, to rely on a 19 years old is not that good neither. I cannot see in this Turkish side, apart from Güler, a player capable of creating at least the sense that something different could happen. Even Çalhanoğlu in the last games is looking far from the play we have seen in all season with Inter. And this Georgia, as you mentioned, with 𝗵𝗵𝗫𝗀𝗀 in goal, with what Kvaratskhelia could do in attack, it's a team which for sure is going to play second balls. I'm not expecting a Georgian side trying to attack from the very first minute. No, not at all. I think that's going to be maybe the key of the game, guys. Who wins those second balls? I can see Georgia playing long balls to the flank, as they done it against Greece in the playoff, and then let's see who wins those second ball. But again, as I said at the beginning, I don't see it is a far-fetched to believe that a draw could happen in this game.
Well, Georgia probably playing defensively. They didn't concede in the playoffs in the build-up to this Euro against Greece, against Luxembourg. They kept clean sheets. How do you see this one, Alvaro? You think there could be a surprise? By the way, the friendly games for Turkey lately haven't been good as well. They even conceded 6 against Austria back in March, but still 6.
I believe that Georgia may have a chance. Leo has backed them. I'm going to back them in the first half. I think that they're going to stay there because, maybe it takes some time to Turkey to find their feet and to start them. For example, if you go for a draw no bet for Georgia in the first half, that pays 2.90. It's a lot of money. Or even Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Georgia in the first half, meaning that if they draw the first half, you get half a win. If they win it, you win your stake. That pays 188 in the first half only. Asian handicap plus 0.25. So I'm going to stick to that, really. This is a game in which I am expecting the creative players to make the difference, or at least I wish it happens that way. We mentioned 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗂 and 𝗂𝗏𝗏, but what about, for example, 𝗂𝐿𝐴𝐿𝐴? Leo may remember because we spoke in our shows about Galatasaray in the Champions League, and 𝗂𝐿𝐴 was the guy who actually, by pressing high, was getting the ball off Casemiro in the game against Manchester United, and he is a very good attacking asset as well for Turkey. Maybe he can be the difference maker as well, but I expect 𝗂𝗏𝗏 and 𝗲𝗏𝗍𝗂 being those players. 𝗂𝗏𝗏 was very good against Greece in the playoff final. He didn't score as far as I remember because that was a 0-0, I would say, but he was trying all the time, and that's the most important thing. 𝗂𝗏𝗏 never hides. For Georgia, he knows that he's the best player, and he is one of the leaders in attempts and shots blocked and shots produced in the qualification, and he's gonna stay like this during the tournament, that's for sure. But anyway, by the way, his scoring ratio for Georgia is 0.5 goals per game, which is quite decent, better than his scoring ratio for Napoli, by the way. But you know, for this game, as I said before, I don't think that Turkey is particularly reliable. I'm gonna watch them because I'm expecting entertainment in there, but you may believe, or you may remember, when we spoke about Turkey ahead of Euro 2020, they were playing against Italy in the first game, and many were saying that they were the dark horses, and then they lost with Spinazzola just destroying them. So sometimes with Turkey, you never know, really. You never know, and I know they've got a manager like Vincenzo Montella with a mixed bag of results because he was terrible, but then he has done better somewhere else. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to back Georgia in the first half with an Asian handicap plus 0.25, 188.
And
well, in
also
this group, yeah, Leo?
No, sorry, just to add that the goal markets in a tight game, as I expect, in goals under 2, odds of 2.3 could as well be a pick.
Very quickly, because I forgot this line that I have written here. Georgia has been statistically the side with more cards in the qualification. I'm pretty sure that Turkey, if they have to get physical or passionate, they will as well. Georgia got 27 yellows and 1 red in the qualification. It's the record. So maybe the cards market over 4.5, something like that, could be interesting as well. I don't have the odds with me yet because the games are going to be played in 5-6 days, but it's worth having a check in a couple of days' time.
And probably in this group, the favorites to go through are Portugal, of course, Portugal, and Czech Republic. We are going to see this game on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Czech Republic qualified ahead of Poland or Albania in the group in the Euros 2021. They did a great job, and 𝐿𝐭𝐴 was one of the stars of the tournament. But in front of them, they have Portugal, also one of the, I wouldn't say dark horse of this tournament because they are always in the bookies' eyes, but still the price for Portugal to win the tournament is pretty good. Right now is 8. They are the 4th tournament. I always have my doubts about Roberto Martinez, but I had more doubts about Fernando Santos. Before that, Alvaro, do you think also Portugal could be one of these teams that get to the semifinals, to the final, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo as well in the squad?
Well, probably some of our listeners have watched the video we did about with the Euro 2024 preview, and I rated Portugal highly. They are not dark horses. The word's dark horse will apply to someone else with less pedigree. But anyway, yeah, they are one of those sides that are very dangerous. I think at Spain too, as well, but that's another different story. But Portugal has very good individuals, and you know, the only thing I don't like. You say that you are not too sure about Roberto Martinez. In my case, I don't like Roberto Martinez. When he was the Belgium manager, he was sometimes too rigid with his ideas. I think that his time in England has been overhyped a little bit because, yes, he got a title with Wigan, but then he was relegated. And apart from his first season at Everton, where he got 72 points, which is a lot for Everton, then his Everton was very flat as well. And an Everton side with quite a lot of money anyway. So, no, he's not my man. But I think that Portugal has been one of these sides that in the past has had some kind of players' self-management, and here the same thing can happen as well, with many veteran individuals who can actually have more hierarchy over the players than the manager himself. I'm talking about Bruno Fernandes, I'm talking about Pepe, I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think that this team needs a great manager to perform. Their players are rather competitive, very good in general. The likes of Paliña, they've got what in Spanish we call oficio, which is the know-how to play in midfield. They've got many players like this. Portugal and Bernardo Silva, and many more that, we know all the names. We know all the names. And when they take it seriously, they are very good. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 is the perfect example. Every now and then he produces one of these performances that reminds you that he's a very good footballer, and normally he does it in the good games, apart from the tie against PSG with Barcelona. Anyway, that's another story. But, the highest scoring side in the qualification has been Portugal. Obviously, in the context of the group stage, we shouldn't take this as gospel. But they've got Pepe, they've got Ronaldo, those who are the experienced players, and they've got players in their peak of their powers who will certainly deliver in the tournament too. I think that they are way favorites over the Czech Republic, who, by the way, have a very strong core from Slavia Prague. 8 players are coming from this side. But yeah, Portugal has to win this game. I believe that they will do it. Portugal to win and over 1.5 goals in the game, 175.
It's curious the case of Portugal, Leo, because probably it's the country with more managers at the top level, and then they had Fernando Santos, who I didn't like at all, with Portugal, very defensive. Now they had to choose an Spaniard, as Alvaro was saying, Roberto Martinez, and they have one of the strongest squads in this Euro. Probably they should be considered as favorites according to the quality of the players.
No, absolutely. The collection of talent, Eduardo, is amazing what Roberto Martinez has at his disposal. But especially in the game with Croatia that they lost 2-1 in the last friendly, I'm seeing like some players not being very comfortable in their position. Although again they have such a collection of talent. For example, Diogo Dalot, all season, Alvaro playing as a left back, comes with the national team. Martinez put him as a right back to play Nuno Mendes as a left back, and he didn't have a good game. Actually, I was thinking, okay, maybe Croatia will try to attack on the flank of Nuno Mendes, and no, they done it on Dalot's side, and he suffered a bit. And he was picked as the best player of the season for Manchester United, but playing as a left back. Then you have Vitinha and Paliña in that double pivot, which I believe they are complementary players, yes, but Vitinha gave his best with PSG, playing through the middle, and with Paliña in there, he needs to move either to the right or to the left, and again, I couldn't see him very comfortable. And then the case of João Félix, I think even though they lost 2-1 against Croatia, at least I think there is the game made a massive point for Martinez that João Félix cannot be trusted on that left side. Playing Bernardo Silva, Bruno, and Joao cannot happen. It has to be Bernardo, Bruno, and for sure Rafael Leao behind Gonzalo Ramos or Diogo Jota or whoever you want to pick. But it cannot be Joao Felix playing there. And then going to face a Czech Republic side, which, yes, of course, is not favorite here. Portugal is the main favorite. Portugal to win, and I expect goals here. Portugal to win and goals over 2.5. I will take the odds to almost closer to 3. But this Czech Republic side is at the back of 5 consecutive wins, so I wouldn't take them very, very lightly. Yes, of course, the opposition, Eduardo, they face in those games haven't been the best, but still I think it's enough to build the right level of confidence going into the finals. Against North Macedonia in the last friendly, Susek, the West Ham player, was the only defensive pivot in that midfield in front of a line of 3 at the back. I don't think that's going to happen against Portugal. I believe their manager is going to resort to a double pivot in midfield to have a little bit more, to be a little bit more cautious. But then, if there is a point where Czech Republic can hurt you, is by crosses from the right, and 𝗵𝗏𝗍𝐿 𝐾𝐿 has shown that in West Ham. And actually, if we think of this Portugal side who commit a lot of players forward in transition, but if that transition does not end in a shot on goal, during that transition Portugal loses the ball and they don't manage to stop the play with a foul or to get the ball back, then running especially on the right with 𝐾𝐿, they could put you in problems because if you look at the friendlies against Norway and Armenia in March, they managed 32 crosses on open play in those 2 games, and out of those 32 crosses, 12 times they found a teammate, so they finished the play because that cross finds someone to finish. And they have Patrick Schick playing in between the center backs, so they could create 1 or 2 problems for Portugal. But yes, overall Portugal to win, as I said. And I also will look at second half goals over 1.5, odds of 2.05.
What do you think, Leo, is going to be Cristiano Ronaldo's goal in this tournament?
His tally?
I mean, not
or
goal,
his role.
roll. His role.
Roll. I think, well, he haven't been used in the last 2 friendlies. That could be a case of Martinez trying to regulate his minutes before the finals. But I can expect Cristiano Ronaldo staying more in the bench than on the pitch. I can expect a little bit more of that Cristiano Ronaldo, who in Qatar was very upset of not playing the night that Gonzalo Ramos scored a hat-trick, if I'm not wrong. So that's what at least I can see from Ronaldo. But I don't know if Alvaro thinks the same.
A couple of considerations very quickly. Had Gonzalo Ramos have a good season, I think there will be less debate, but it hasn't been the case. And also, I think Roberto Martinez is a diplomat. He's a politician almost. If Jose Mourinho or 𝐬𝐭𝐭𝐚𝐲 will be the managers of Portugal, I think maybe they would have had the strength and the personality and the character to drop Cristiano Ronaldo after World Cup 2022. But Roberto Martinez, being Spanish, being a foreigner in Portugal, I think I didn't have the hierarchy in the country with the media as well to do that. But Cristiano Ronaldo, for sure he's going to score goals for Portugal, but from now until he retires. But in World Cup 2022, sometimes he was a liability for the Portuguese side. To the point that he was appearing every now and then, and he was also invading areas that were more suited for some other players because he wants to drop deep sometimes, he wants to play with the ball, and I think that he gets a little bit desperate because he doesn't get supply. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm not doubting Cristiano Ronaldo. If he has a chance, I want him to have it if I were Portuguese. But on the other hand, the question is what happens with Cristiano until he gets that chance? His contribution is very scarce.
It's going to be very interesting in this Euro to see actually how the players in the Saudi Arabian League are going to perform. We analyzed Serbia in our previous video. We have Laporte in Spain. We have Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, all playing in Saudi Arabia. Let's see how competitive they are in a big tournament with all the other players in the European leagues and in the European teams. Well, it's going to be one of the images of these Euros for sure, seeing Cristiano Ronaldo's last tournament. Let's see how many minutes he is going to play with Portugal. Remember, guys, that we have a tipster competition open for the Euros. We have another one, Leo, don't worry, for the Copa America. So you can participate for free. You can post your tips and you can win real money. If you are among the 20 best, you will get money, real money, and that's always very good. Leo, tell me your safe bet for these 4 games.
Absolutely. My safe bet here is Belgium to win, 1.5.
And Alvaro, your safe bet?
Next question, please. It's the same as Leo's. Belgium to win. Belgium to win. That's my safe bet.
It's super safe. That's super safe, guys. Take good notes because it's a good one to include in your ACCA, perhaps, Alvaro. Or you are
Yes.
the Roberto Martinez or the Fernando Santos of the ACCA, and perhaps you go for a double chance or something like this to be more cautious.
Yeah. I am the Trapattoni of Oddspedia here. So I'm gonna go for
Strunz.
Belgium to win, Portugal to win and over 1.5 goals in that game, and Ukraine to win. Altogether 5-31.
Okay, Trapattoni is Strunz, no? That famous press conference with him speaking in German. Leo, your ACCA?
I'm more like Erik ten Hag kind of ACCA's.
Playmaker.
Yeah, because he thinks he was saying he's an entertainer. His team was an entertainment this season. So my ACCA is Ukraine to win, odds of 2.05, Belgium to win, and also second half over 1.5 goals in Portugal, Czech Republic. That would leave us with a 6.36 ACCA.
So if you are not wanted in Oddspedia, you will go somewhere else to win your ACCAs, no? As Ten Hag
Yeah.
was saying after lifting the FA Cup, for instance. Well, Alvaro, Leo, thank you. Thanks everyone for watching. See you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.